two people scaled the Empire State Building and then were promptly arrested. We want to talk to our official attorney, Lisa Lanier, to get into maybe why they did it, but also like how much jail time, if any, if they're facing for doing that.
And what did they do? They proposed, Jared?
Yeah.
At the top?
On the top of the antenna. So climb the Empire State Building and then climb the antenna at the very top.
Gosh.
And then they unfurled a poster that was all about loving love or needing love more than we love power.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
I did. That was a very nice sentiment.
No, but I saw them standing on like one circle of a bar doing this flag.
I cannot.
I'm like,
I cannot.
How is this person doing that? You're talking about standing on a railing. It looked like it's probably to me that antenna looks like flimsy, but it's probably not because
freaks me out.
It's a huge building and it's so high up. But still,
and then when you go up to some of the tallest buildings in New York City, just standing outside on a roof, it is so windy, so you like get kind of lightheaded. Then you go up to a place that's not protected by anything. You know that antenna's moving around.
Yeah, and they didn't have any gear or anything. It's just, I mean, they're professional climbers, but still, I mean, obviously.
From what I understand, the whole building actually moves.
That's what I've heard too. Yeah,
flexes.
Well, then Katie is funny. Katie said, we know what the flag said, and it says Jared and Katie in the morning or something like that.
Yes.
And some lady or somebody on social media was like, no, it doesn't.
I know. I was like, are you? And then I thought, I don't have the mental capacity today to do. I don't.
Go put your head in the oven or something.
I just don't
ridiculous.
have it.
All right, let's go to our official attorney, Lisa Lanier. Good morning, Lisa.
Hey, good morning. I love this story because these two, they are nutty as all get out. They've done this all over the world. They're internationally famous for climbing structures that aren't meant to be climbed. And they were featured in a Netflix documentary called Skywalkers, A Love Story.
Oh.
And and the quote that they unfurled on the banner was a very famous quote by William Gladstone. When the power of love beats the love of power, the world knows peace, which is a very sweet and very well-known sentiment. And they then, of course, proposed and did the whole thing. And it's super dangerous. Like you said, the most dangerous thing about it is that antenna emits incredibly dangerous radiation.
Didn't even think about that part.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's really the most dangerous thing, aside from falling to their death. I mean, really,
they didn't have cables.
Mm-mm.
Did they not have cables?
No, they're free climbers. Yeah, they are free climbers. So the police, of course, were waiting for them at the bottom. They've been charged with burglary, reckless endangerment, criminal trespassing, criminal mischief, and tampering. Also with disorderly conduct, of all things. And so they really could potentially face 5 to 7 years in prison for this. I don't think that will happen. They're first offenders in New York. Of course, they have done this all over the place. And what will probably happen is that I don't think all the charges will be dropped, but I think they'll get probation or some kind of very light suspended sentence type thing, because people realize, I think, that it's kind of their thing, their shtick, and nobody was hurt. And but they literally had to break into these restricted areas, so that's where all the burglary charges come from.
Well, let's say they didn't have to break in or anything like that. Is it illegal just to climb a building?
It is illegal to climb those buildings in New York. It is.
Okay, but like if it was another building, like you have the skills to scale it on the side.
It really depends. It depends on the city. And really like. If you go out and, climb the Dick Broadcasting building, I don't think you're going to get in any trouble for it.
Yeah.
Have they been arrested before, Lisa, and any of the other? Because, they have the whole documentary about climbing different things.
I think they've been charged. Before like this, but never faced any serious prison time or anything.
Yeah, but that's going to be on their record. So is it potentially they could get more since this is a repeat offense?
Well, they probably won't repeat it in New York. That's kind of, I think they're pretty clever like that. Then they're international. So, they're not from around here. They'll move on to another country and keep climbing, I'm sure.
I got you. Mm-hmm. And I guess they proposed, and we'll see what happens. So they could, 5 to 7 years, you're thinking they probably won't serve any jail time.
No, I don't think so. And they're not super young. I mean, I think a lot of people are under the false assumption that they're, like 20 years old or something, but they're in their mid-30s, and they've been doing this a long time.
Well, if that's the case, because did you say reckless endangerment?
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's basically, being reckless with your life. But if they're professional building climbers, it seems like that couldn't stick because they are professional. They don't get injured. They've done this many of times. Would they mention that?
No, it's super illegal and super dangerous, not just to them, but if they fall on someone down below.
Oh, true.
I'll make the case that I've never fallen before, or I wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
Right.
I will tell you this, though. The one thing that does get me a little bit is when they did this, it caused an emergency in the city where they had to shut down all the streets and utilize all the police, they have like fire trucks and ambulances, I think. So you're creating this emergency, pulling away from other potential emergencies, and they're tied up.
And I think they'll come after them for some of those costs, too. That's pretty typical. That's usually as part of any deal. Like if they get probation, they'll probably have to pay some restitution to the city because it was very costly to the city.
Would because they're international, I can't remember where they're from, but let's say they just immediately went back to their home country, them collecting any of that money would probably be next to impossible, right?
Yeah, I think because they are so high profile and everything, I think they'll do the right thing, and I don't think they're going to, try to flee these charges or anything.
They seem peaceful. Given the flag that they were flying, but it also seems like they're doing it for the thrill and to promote peace. So I don't think that they're like, watch what we can get away with.
Oh, no, yeah.
No,
they didn't make any money, or
Yeah.
I guess they could later with some shows or whatever.
Well, now they're famous more than ever.
That's true, at least in this country.
Yeah.
And then real quick, we had a guy that tripped over the curb at the Waffle House. Who hasn't done that?
Well, he says it's all because he was distracted that, sometimes they'll have graphics in the window or they'll show a plate of steaming hot pancakes or their, hash browns or whatever. And he said he was so distracted by how delicious the picture advertisement on the side of the Waffle House was, he tripped and fell. And now he's suing.
He's drunk. Well, he's going to the Waffle House. He's drunk.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. He was older, right, Lisa?
He was 84 years old, and there was an especially high curb outside the Waffle House that he had to climb over to get out, get where he was going. But he didn't see it because he was looking at this giant poster for their limited edition strawberry shortcake waffle.
It's worth it. It's worth the fall.
So strawberry shortcake waffles, big poster. He's looking at that, doesn't see the high curb. So Florida, where this happened, is a modified comparative fault jurisdiction, which means that he just has to show that Waffle House was 51% negligent. He can be up to 49% negligent. So he can be guilty of maybe not looking where he was going, that sort of thing. And they have this distraction law there that a person that owns a business, if they put out a big distraction, then they can't claim, hey, you weren't looking where you were going, because the idea is that you're looking at this big distraction. So it's going to come down to a question, I think, for the jury, and it may settle, because a lot of times these things settle, but it'll be a question for the jury whether this big, giant poster of the strawberry shortcake waffles was sufficiently distracting to draw his attention away from where he was walking. And so that's what it boils down to. Typically, in most jurisdictions, you don't get that distraction verdict unless you have something really unusual, more than a poster. Usually it's like, those balloon guys or whatever, the air guys that flop all around. Like, you walk by one of those, you're going to look at it because it almost feels like they're going to hit you, right? Or something's going to fall on you. So that is the kind of the classic example of the distraction.
So
but
in Florida,
there have been cases where a big poster could be distracting.
Okay. Well, so you think this guy could maybe get some money from settlement because it's in Florida?
Yeah, and because so far, Waffle House is digging in and they're saying, no, this was an open and obvious danger. You're more than 51% or more than 49% at fault. And he said, but he's digging in and he's going to take it to trial. It could still settle along the way. These things often do, but it's going to come down to a question for the jury about whether how much fault he had, and was he sufficiently distracted by the poster.
The only thing that makes me feel bad about the story is if he is old. If he was any younger, I'd be like, he's just an idiot.
Because he was just looking.
But
it
can happen to anybody. Be like, I didn't see the curb, and because I looked at the sign, come on, man.
But he's 84.
He was old, and he was severely injured. He had surgery. He was hospitalized. It was bad injury.
Yeah, you're old, boy. This stuff hurts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Lisa, you're great. Okay, you were going to say something.
No, I was going to say it hurts when you're young, too, but,
yeah.
it does hurt when you fall.
We'll have a fun 4th, Lisa. We appreciate you.
Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you. Official attorney of Jared and Katie in the morning. If you're injured, contact her right away at hireaheavyweight.com.